Hello and welcome back to my channel. This is Katie Alina and I am here to talk about my Inktober sketchbook. As you can see, this cover might look a little bit familiar. I showed it to you, I think, the last day of September and showed the prompts that I was doing, which was Maddie Arts and the official Inktober prompts, which you can see right here. Okay, and I'm just going to kind of walk you through some of the pictures, well, all of the pictures in my sketchbook, and just kind of go over and do like a tour and talk about the process and how I felt about each piece, and just kind of show, how I did. Now, I'm very proud of myself. This is the first time that I've done Inktober anyway, and I did all 31 prompts. There was some setbacks. I had gotten sick during some of October, but you know what? It turned out good regardless. So without further ado, let's start with the first prompt. Now, I do really like this piece, but I didn't really know what direction I wanted to go in at the time. This is the first day, and it was ring and doll. So I kind of have like an image here of like a voodoo doll going on. You can see like a ring here and a love note kind of burned up and smoking, and yeah, so this is a little bit more spooky than some of the pieces that you'll see as we go through the prompts, but yeah, so that's the first one I did. I don't mind this one as much. I wish that I had used more tones of the ink, as you'll see later on in my pieces. For the most part, it was just like that straight black ink, which we didn't actually end up going with for the rest of the challenge. So this one kind of looks the most different out of the rest of them, as far as I can tell. So yeah, this is the first one. I like it. Not too bad, not too great, but it was a solid start, and it was actually quite fun to start working with inks again. And another thing I want to mention is that this is going to be this like Higgins Black Magic ink for the most part, and then any color you see will pretty much always be a fountain pen ink, or there's a couple instances, which I'll show you, that were like Fine Tech watercolor and a gold ink that isn't meant for fountain pens. All right, on to day two. I do really like this piece. This is Mindless and Wings, and I feel like this is the one that like seemed to look more composed. I want to say it looks like the composition was better than some of the other ones that I'll show you later. It didn't feel quite as rushed, and the proportions don't seem quite as good as they could be. I do like how she turned out. I like the shading. Again, I started using different tones of the ink mixed with water, and this one has fountain pen ink in here too. It's like a yellow sparkly gold, and just really fun to be all scribbly up and through here. And day three was Bait and Curse. So my idea was, for the most part, like a treasure map. This is I might have it here on my desk, Winsor and Newton gold ink, and yeah, I use this in a couple of pieces, but I thought this gave like a cool sort of look to this piece. I have Ghosts, Haunted Treasure. It says turn back on a sign, and you see like the X marks the spot, dead person here, pirate map. It was just really fun. It's very my aesthetic for sure. It was a lot of fun to do this one. And day four has very like evil Elsa vibes, like dark shadow creeping up through dark clouds and so on and so forth. This is Freeze and Wicked, and I don't know, I tried to do like a non-cute little chibi thing going on here, and I don't know, I just wasn't as impressed with this one. I do like the colors, I gotta say. It's very cold, and but I can work on humans. I will work on humans. Not really used to drawing them. Now, day five is my absolute favorite of the entire series. This is Mask and Build, and it is a little Halloween party. Pin the brain on the zombie, some punch, some jack-o'-lanterns, Halloween in the background. We just have two characters who, you know, there's like this superhero princess sort of mask thing going on in construction worker, but also building a relationship, which I think is super cute. And I love the yellow color for this one. It turned out so good. It's just so happy. I love this piece. This is my favorite out of the whole thing. So I might, you know what? I might make a copy of this one and try and digitize it. I am learning digital art, so, but I really like this one. So yes, anyway, on to day 6. This is the first time that I was starting to feel a little bit rushed. Now, it doesn't even feel like it was, you know, very long at all, but day 6, husky and familiar. We have sort of like a witch's cavern. Sorry, we have sort of like a witch's cabin and a little husky familiar dog over here. And it's very cute and good, but I did start like running into problems with me brushing, and this happened more than once. But I would like touch this and see if it was dry, and I couldn't, I guess, tell it was. So the fountain pen ink would seep into the fibers of the paper. Now, I did notice this is a Strathmore sketchbook. I did notice that it wasn't actually the best, and some of the ink and watercolor, fountain pen, it would eat through like the paper. It would pill up a little bit. It wasn't my favorite sketchbook, but it was the right size. So if I do Inktober next year, keeping the size, gonna find a different brand, or maybe the next series up for Strathmore. All right, and day 7, this was very simple. Again, I was feeling relatively rushed, and this is like the fine tech watercolor, so you can see it's very shiny. I don't know if the camera is picking that up good or not. Looks like, but yeah. So I just drew kind of like a priestess or a witch of some kind. She's casting some sort of glamour enchantment on herself, and she's just cute and very round, and I really like that style. Okay, this is another one of my favorites, day 8, and it is a frail hunter, and I don't know how his heart got broken or even where his heart really is, but he's not very happy about it. He looks very like downtrodden, depressed, and poor little thing. Anyway, I love him. Skella boy, Skella nerd, love him so much. This turned out great. Onward to day 9. This is a little bit of fan art, so for you guys who really like Stardew Valley, here's Krobus, and he is for the prompt Swing and Shadow. There's the sign of Yoba up there in case like the reference wasn't clear. This is just Krobus kind of chilling, and it was fairly simple, and I think my perspective was a little skewed through here, but those trees in Stardew Valley are a little strange anyway. So yeah, a little bit like larger tree that goes skinnier, which seems stupid, but you know, it happens. Krobus fan art, and it was just fun. I really like this one. Day 10 is Pattern and Ritual, and this is a little different. Like, I didn't really know what to do to combine those two, so I did the Wiccan / Pagan Wheel of the Year. A little crooked. Again, I was like rushing in things, but it shows like different icons for the seasons in here, and it shows all the holidays for like a pagan year, and starts at my holiday, which is Samhain, which we just celebrated yesterday. And well, by the time I posted it on Friday, just sort of doodled from it. It was a doodle essentially, but I thought it was cute and fun. So, and I tried to do like repeating patterns too. The next one is Snow and Poison, and it's Disney fan art, so some of you might recognize this as the poison apple from Snow White, which is what I thought of. When I looked through Instagram though, I saw that for the most part, poison as the prompt was always this, and I love it. I thought it was very aesthetic and very cool, very spooky. I enjoyed this one quite a bit. And day 12 is probably the loudest one that I have, where I did run into a few problems. You'll see on my Instagram I forgot to fill in here. I got confused as I started inking as to where all the lines were. I didn't wait for things to dry. But it turned out kind of like pretty. It's like a shadowy dragon in a rose sort of mess. But yeah, if I had given myself the opportunity to use more than one color, I definitely would have done a different color for the dragon accents, because she sort of really blends in, which I think is probably the point I was thinking of. But yeah, I confused myself as I was inking, and it was not a great time. This is where I decided also not to really film my pieces because I was rushing. I don't have a lot of time with my current full-time job anyway, and trying to do an Inktober piece and film a video was impossible. It was bad for mental health. I've been sleep deprived for like a month. So we decided not to film them, as I was making more and more mistakes in inking and whatever. But that's why I'm doing the tour now, because, you know, I'm starting my channel. I should be, you know, posting videos all the time and doing better. However, it's not always that simple, especially with balancing a full-time job with this sort of hobby of mine. So I'm trying to make it like more consistent, and I will when I don't have to do pieces every single day. It'll be more of a weekend thing, and working on larger pieces throughout the week and filming little bits as I go along. So that should work out a little bit better. Anyway, onward to day 13, which is another one of my favorites. This is not a tour trick for those of you who are Pokemon fans, although a lot of my friends really thought that it was. I did Ash and Mirror, and I just sort of have like a phoenix baby. You can see it reflected here. And I used a little bit of, I want to say, white acrylic. I didn't quite love that fountain pen ink, but, you know, white acrylic to kind of show like the shines of the mirror and this cute little baby phoenix, little ashy footprints. Just adorable little round thing. Okay, oops. Spoiler alert, that was not the right day. All right, now we have day 14, and I remember being home really late this day and just having no idea what I was going to do. So I did overgrown horns, and I did a little stylized cute little sheep with giant horns, and that worked for me. Wasn't my best work, but he's cute, so there we go. This next one coming up is real fun. Legend of Zelda fans out there, this is Legend in Possession for day 15, and this is the possessed, I want to say Malleus Zelda from Spirit Tracks, and kind of a Wind Waker style bubble over here, because I didn't want to draw like the giant skull person. I didn't have time for that, but the only thing that would have made this better is if I had allowed myself like one more color, because the inside of the eye would be red and the pupil yellow for that style. So I don't know if that came across too much, but either way, any excuse to draw the Wind Waker style characters from Legend of Zelda, I'm going to take it. And I love this. I love everything about this piece. This, yes, it's not quite as much of a favorite as my other piece, the Build and Mask, but this one is a very close second. I love it. And day 16, more Wind Waker / Breath of the Wild fan art for Legend of Zelda fans. And I did Wild and Blood, and I couldn't pull it together to do something gory and scary. Like I had said, I wanted to do like Halloween style things, but I just couldn't do it. I was just too burnt out from trying to think all spooky. And so I did this Korok with the Hollow kind of mask. So Hollow, Hollo from Wind Waker. He does potions up in the Great Woods, or the wood, you know, the island with the tree. Yes, that one. It has the same style mask. That's the one I like. For a while, my gaming Twitter was Pixel Hollow. I don't think I use it much anymore, but yeah, so I did this one, and he's sort of doing like twinsies with a Hylian mushroom out in the forest as he's foraging a little bit, and he's just so cute. So cute. I love this piece. Okay, next prompt is ornament and twins. So I didn't want to do anything related to Christmas because it's November, and at the time I was drawing this, obviously it was October. It was just not time for ornaments, in my opinion. So I did little twin baby dragons, and they have like very ornamental jewelry and some coins, and they're very tiny little hoard, and they look so happy about it. And so this one turned out quite cute. This is again this Winsor Newton gold ink, which is very fun. Okay, and day 18 is Misfit and Lure. So I have an anglerfish and its prey. He's a little confused and like unsure because his lure is like a star instead of like the normal sort of like anglerfish type deal. And he's not very scary. He's got really big eyes, like big shiny eyes. Just cute all the way around. Anyway, it was a cute piece. I tried to convey that these things were glowing, but again, this paper, especially the back side of the paper, which makes me think this might not be double-sided watercolor paper. The back side of the paper definitely did not like water at all. So the glowing didn't really come across the way I wanted it to. But it's still cute. It's a cute, funny piece. So onward. The next one is day 19, which was Sling and Fortune. And I have, this is actually my favorite ever fountain pen ink. Hang on. Just making a mess on my desk. But anyway, this one, Yamabudo through Pilot Iroshizuku. It's like a really pretty burgundy color that I love. I write with all the time. And I drew a fortune teller who's leaving work because her crystal ball is still sort of activated. And she broke her arm, so she's not happy about it. Makes it really hard to be all spooky and voodoo-like, but you know, not that she does voodoo. Who knows? She reads fortunes for sure. Anyway, that's her character. She's cute. She's sad. She broke her arm. Sling and Fortune. We did it. It was good. This one was another day where I was just really busy, very anxious. So I did anxiety flowers, which I will link in the card. There's a video from Emily Artful, which I absolutely love, that I watched either just before Inktober or around this time a second time. I don't remember exactly, about mental health and relaxing and using art as a way to unwind, and especially during like the very tail end of it, really difficult month-long challenge, it was important to just take a step back. So Tread and Dancer, I kind of like took it out of context completely, but I did the little Revive fairies dancing through the roses. These are from Legend of Zelda, by the way, and they had to tread carefully because Link was going to come and take them to like revive later. So you can see where the ink sort of bled out after I took the pictures for Instagram. I didn't fix that. It's okay. Again, anxiety, wanting to go to bed, you know. So anyway, yeah. So and then the Hey Listen, if anybody's played Ocarina of Time, they all of course would say Hey Listen, not just Snappy, of course. All right, and the next one is Inktober Day 21, Treasure and Innocence, and I did a pirate trick-or-treater. I hate how the hands came out. They look like aardvark claws, but I'm working on it again. Like I said earlier, I'm not like the best human artist. Well, let's just say I'm not the best human in general. I am very anxious and very tired all the time. But anyway, I meant I don't draw humans that well. That's what I meant. I am practicing though, and actually Inktober was a really good chance to kind of look at these shapes quickly and try and figure out a way to make it work without focusing on erasing so many details, and just kind of maybe do like more of a doodly style and see if I could translate what I was seeing towards art of some kind. So I am learning. It's just going to take a while to relearn that I can draw, and I have been drawing for a while. So yeah, Innocence and Treasure. All right, the next one is Inktober Day 22, which is just a silly one. I really liked this one. This is Ghost in Dark, and I have this ghost, and he's lost in the dark, and he's got a flashlight sort of phasing through his hand here. Very confused and upset. I don't know why a ghost would be upset about the dark, but here he is. I like this one. It made me laugh. So Day 23, another one in absolute full color. I'm kidding mostly, but it technically is. You can see where the ink kind of like didn't like this paper again. But this is Registeel, which is a Pokemon. And I just thought, you know, Ancient and Blind were the sort of prompts here. And I thought, you know, meh. I mean, I could have probably thought of something else a little bit more spooky, but Registeel came to mind. And I drew him. It was very simple. I quite like it though. Turned out okay. The next one is Day 24, Dizzy Demon. And I drew a dizzy demon. Yeah, very simple. And kind of harkens back to Day 2. I want to say the Anxiety Demon with the same sort of gold accents from that gold fountain pen ink. And Day 25 is Tasty and Moon. So I drew a little mousey looking up at this cheese moon. And he's in love, and it was simple but cute. It was what I could think of. Also, I want to apologize for my cat because she's going to continue to yell. I don't know why she's like this. I have no idea how to stop her from doing this. So, other YouTubers, how do you stop your cats from yelling while you're recording? I need all the tips I can get because last video, she was ridiculous about it. Today, she's a little better, but we'll see. Anyway, onward. Day 26 is Dark and Death, and I drew a little gravestone in a blood moon, if you remember from Breath of the Wild, a blood moon, and goblin-like creature with really long stick legs, apparently, and no torso. Shadow on the graveyard there, which was cool, and the red rose. So you can get different tones of this red just by watering it down. The glow from the stars and whatever, it was really cool. Monster glowing eye. It was okay. I like this one. It wasn't, that amazing, but it is what it is. I thought, it turned out well considering how little time I had. And this is day 27, which is Coat and Spirit. So I gave this ghost a hobo coat. And I hadn't used a really nice bright blue yet. So, well, aside from the tealish mintish blue from the Elsa looking piece earlier. But so nice horizon blue in a tattered little coat. And I don't know why a ghost would need a coat per se, but this one's got some style, I guess. So that worked out. Day 28 is going to be Ride and Voodoo, and I like this one. It turned out cute. I used a cross fountain pen ink, so you can see that it sort of did a thing like the Viva watercolors where it'll go on really saturated and really sink into the paper and turn green a little bit in certain places, which I kind of liked. But it's a little voodoo doll riding, a witch's broom, and I just thought she was so cute. I gave her a little curly yarn hair, and she might be me, she might not be. Whoever has my voodoo doll, please, please, please crack that back for me. That would be so nice. If you have her. Yeah, okay, I'm kidding. Mostly. Ride and Voodoo. That's her. Okay. And moving on. I have day 29, Injured and Warlock. And this is another one I really like. I found a reference for a goblin. I think a goblin warlock on a Dungeons and Dragons guide I had saved from ages and ages ago. It was a screenshot. I don't even know what the website was. And he was so cute. If anybody knows the original artist who did this sort of style, let me know. But anyway, he's really cute. He's gonna cast Eldritch Blast, but he's got a broken leg, so I don't know. Maybe if he'll have disadvantage or something, hopefully. But watch out. Day 30 is Catch and Ghoul. Now I know ghouls are supposed to be creepy looking things that eat brains and not quite zombies, but not ghosts. But I didn't want to do that. Again, I tried to be all spooky, but I couldn't do it. Just not in my personality, really. Which is ironic, but it's okay. It's good. Did a little ghost in the ink with a little ruby, I guess, on the top here. And that kind of goes back to the cover of my sketchbook. And I really just love how this turned out. It was very simple, very fun. It does look like the ghost is sitting in the ink, and it blended much nicer than the acrylic paints did, but I really like this concept. I like this concept, and I like that I was able to do it for a prompt. Which brings us to the end, which is more fan art. Day 31, which is Ripe and Scarecrow, and this is Turnip Head. And turnip's a ripe turnip for his head, of course. Counts for that. And he's a scarecrow and a prince and adorable. So I didn't do too much color on him. I looked at the screenshots to see, what popped out as always the same color. And it was the shirt. So I decided to go for a really pretty teal, just like his in the movie. And did the rest as monochrome. I was thinking about maybe doing the purple bow, but this always turned out to be the color that you saw in any frame, whether he was far away or if the lighting was low. It was always a blue shirt, so I decided to go for that one. And this was my last one I did while I was sick on Halloween, and I don't know, it just turned out so cute. He's just so cute. Has anybody seen Howl's Moving Castle? If you have, comment down below your favorite scene. If it's not Calcifer, then I don't even know what to say. May all your bacon burn instead. Kidding, mostly. Anyway, Turnip Head. Tuesday 31. It was a really good time to and a good subject really to close out Inktober. I had a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and close the sketchbook so you can see my beautiful sketchbook cover again. And just kind of close up this video by saying what I thought about, the topic of Inktober and, how the experience went for me. So, like I said, it's a really long, sleep-deprived month of just trying to squeeze in a whole drawing, and I don't go halfway. There's a couple times you can see that I didn't put as much detail in, but they still took me over an hour to do, and I wanted to try and figure out how to draw a little bit quicker and do some things a little bit more sketchy and a little bit less unfinished, because one of the ideas behind Inktober is it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to be done. But I get so into what I'm doing and I want it to turn out a specific way. So I didn't listen. I just kept going. And you can see I overworked some of the pieces. The paper didn't really like the ink too much. And it was hard to really let go of that perfection type thing, which I'm working on. But yeah, the challenge I think mostly was time and having motivation, especially when I was under the weather. There was a time where I was a whole week behind and I had to do 9 paintings in one weekend when I felt halfway decent. And then I got sick again. And I think being, sleep deprived and only getting 5-ish hours of sleep while I was trying to work on this and do my full-time job and everything else that I'm responsible for as a, millennial in the real world. That the biggest challenge definitely is time. I had a lot of ideas to begin with. There's 1 or 2 that I just didn't know what to do for. But for the most part, I had ideas of what I wanted to do moving forward. And I didn't feel that I was ever not inspired to work. I just felt tired. I felt so tired sometimes. But art brings me back to a good mental health place. So even though the challenge itself was really hard, it still brought me back to a place where I've never been happier, which is really kind of awesome. So, excuse me, I'm getting choked up. But yeah, Inktober. I think if this is a challenge that you've done and you've never finished before, I absolutely understand why it's so tough. But no matter how many pieces you did in your very limited time, I'm very proud of you. I'm proud of you for participating. Anybody who finished, anybody who didn't finish, who sat down with just very basic prompts and did Inktober. And I don't know, it was really fun. It really felt like I was part of the art community too, hearing back from some of you guys on Instagram or even just having my friends on Twitter check up on me and just say, hey, your art is good. It's just something good to hear every once in a while. So yeah, that's it. I hope you really liked this video. I will be back next week with some new content, maybe to talk a little bit about myself while I work on some art, because I don't think I've had a chance really to tell you my story yet. And if there's anything about me that I'm capable of doing well, it's telling a story. So if you're here for that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, maybe check that bell icon, see if those notifications work out for you. If not, NBD. I'll be back soon. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think about my sketchbook, about your journey through Inktober, about art in general in the comments below. And I will see you next time. Bye!